that still baffles experts. Mr. Bertie served in the Assembly of Justices and Vestrymen as an elected member for West Bay from 1934 to 1942 and as a Justice of Peace from 1946 to 1959. He established the 4-H Club, the West Bay Cooperative Fishermen's Society, and the West Bay Reading Society and wrote a book, Cayman Emerges. In 1930, he organized the Bosun Bay Sunday School, which was the forerunner of the Bosun Bay Presbyterian Church. He was awarded the Queen's Certificate and Badge of Honor in 1976 in recognition of services rendered to his country.
The Rotary Central Dr. Bill Rudy Science Fair, a family-friendly event Saturday, April 5th, 8:30 a.m. through noon. The Arc Sports Centre, Cayman Bay. The annual adventure unleashing the magic of science, the wonderment of limitless exploration. Over 50 science projects and experiments representing budding scientists from schools across the Cayman Islands. Sourcing energy, exploring the environment, oceanography, agronomy, rocket propulsion, medical technology, drone technology, water security, eco-solutions, math, chemistry, physics, biology, engineering, nanotechnology. The Rotary Central Science Fair 2025, Saturday, April 5, Cayman Bay. Every child needs to see and feel the magic of science, the magic of Rotary.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk Today.
What's on your mind, Cayman? If you're ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Discussing current events and local news, community spotlights, hot topics, listener stories, cultural and historical discussions, environmental issues, fun and lighthearted topics, guest interviews. Cayman, basically anything you want to talk about, we are ready to listen. Here's your guest host.
Good afternoon, listeners from Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and Grand Cayman. Good afternoon to listeners on YouTube, those who are viewing from YouTube. And good afternoon to those who are listening and participating from abroad. We know you have a choice regarding your news mediums, and the democracy of news enables you to go elsewhere. But you're here today with us, and we are grateful. Today we are going to be exploring the blessings of Wednesday and getting in touch with what's going on in our community in the Cayman Islands, along with what's going on in our region and indeed in our in the Western Hemisphere and our globe. There's a lot that's going on. Get ready, and we'd like to thank Paul Akal, the Silver Fox, and our Radio Cayman crew for enabling us to be here for you today.
Talk Today is reminding you
to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
And now, back to Talk Today.
Welcome again to Talk Today. My name is Carl Brown. I am privileged to be your guest host. I would like to remind you that it is open line, so you have the privilege of calling in and expressing your thoughts about what is bothering you, what is exciting you, And what do you think you have the solutions for? We can solve the problems of the world right here. We can start. Our calls can be made through your 1-800 number, 1-800-534-8255, or 949-8037, or 949-6990. There is a WhatsApp number that you can leave messages on, and that is 925-3261. That's 925-3261. You can call and you can text message. Today, listeners, we have an exciting world around us that's swirling around us. Just north of us, there are looming elections in Canada, a part of the Commonwealth, and we have remarkable, interesting seismic activity politically and otherwise coming and emanating from our neighbor North America region, the United States. And in the Cayman Islands, we have one of the most exciting periods of our lives, which occur once every 4 years, where our precious golden group of electors, about 25,000 of us, elect those who would like to serve and to enable us towards progress. These are remarkable times. We do have a caller, and we're going to go straight to it. Thank you very much for calling, caller. Welcome.
Carl Brown,
Good afternoon.
you're too funny, you know.
I tried my best. Humor helps to bring down blood pressure.
You know what I mean. So you said that between us, we should be able to solve all the problems.
If you do not have a dream, you cannot have one come true. And because the Cayman Islands has been known to punch way above their weight, starting way back from the merchant mariners coming right down to in 1968 when we acquired ourselves an airline when we were shy of 7,000 people in 1968. Yes, I think we have the capability of solving the world's problems.
Okay. All right, Carl Brown. This is Lorna Bush, and I don't need your history lesson, even though I know you like to show off about how much you know about us, right?
I am just privileged that 2 brain cells can do recall. Thank you
But
so much
anyway,
for calling.
I think we should get on right now with
Yes.
this solving some of the problems, because believe it or not, I do believe that ordinary people like us might actually hold the key and hold some things that could help. The problem is that those people who are in positions to do something usually don't listen to ordinary humans, just mere human beings. But let's see if we can put your 2 brain cells, and I think I have about 1.5 left, and let's solve some problems today. And the first one I want us to start with, because I think it is such an important one, is the waste management or the lack thereof, because I don't think we're really managing it.
Go right
So,
ahead, caller.
Okay.
You are
I'm
on
gonna give
to
you
an important one.
I'm going to give you my piece, and then I want to hear yours, and then, we'll see how this goes.
Most certainly.
So everybody knows, and even those who just come here probably realize we have a problem with waste management. So the problem is there. Let's talk about how we can fix it. You remember some years back, there was a proposal, and I think they had come up with all the land and what we were going to do. We were moving it to Bodden Town, which started this big NIMBY movement.
Yes.
No one wanted it in their backyard.
Yes.
What I think that should be done, we should decentralize that. Let every district handle their own waste. So we would be setting up smaller waste management facilities in each and every district of the Cayman Islands. We wouldn't start off with the kind of system that we have in place now that created the problem in the first place. But as many studies and as many visits and as many things that have been done, I mean, our government I remember Arden McLean, when he was leaving, and that had been his ministry, he said it was one of his greatest regrets, leaving and not having been able to implement or put some things into place that they had gone out and seen about. Subsequent governments have visited other places and come back with great ideas. So what I don't have is, I don't know enough about it to say this is the type material or the type equipment we need to handle it. That's really not my forte. But leave that to the experts and the technocrats to find out which smaller facility can be instituted, implemented in each and every district. And that combined with a really good education on recycling, the recycling of our products, because we are a very wasteful society. And I don't mean that to expats or anything, because a lot of the expatriates that are here are much more inclined to do waste management than our own people are, because they're coming from societies where it's mandatory.
Yes.
You know, so and then another thing that people blame is that all the garbage that you see thrown out along the way, they blame all of that on foreigners. That's not so. We need to stop some of these myths. We need to let our own people and our visitors know what's not tolerated. And I think if our own people are practicing good recycling, good waste management, then those that are coming here, whether they're coming from other societies that are not as careful or not as clean, if we want to use that word, if they're coming into a lovely, clean, green, where we're managing things, they will be more inclined, because we will be our neighbors' keepers. If you see someone doing something wrong, dumping where they shouldn't be dumping, that kind of thing, wouldn't it be better for you to try to police that yourself? And you would be much more effective if you're practicing it yourself. So that's one of the things that I really believe would help us with waste management. Smaller facilities, let each district take care of their own waste. That way you don't have my waste in your backyard and I don't have yours in mine. Each district is responsible for their own. Of course, there would be a central authority, you know, the DEH or whoever would still be in charge of the overall waste management. But smaller facilities, each district have their own, and we must implement proper recycling. It has to be an enforceable plan. If you know, the trucks that come out, and there's a gentleman in the DEH who I think has a fairly senior position, and he comes here from the UK, where he knows that even the containers need to be they need to be uniformed, and they need to be specific, each color for each type material.
Yes.
You know, the compostable stuff goes in one, your plastics, your glass, et cetera, they're picked up by different trucks. So you know they're not all being piled together like what is happening here. Some people here think what we're doing is wasting time because we separate it in the house, but it somehow still all gets mixed together. I'm not sure if that's true, but that's what I've heard. So that's one problem. Carl,
Yes.
you want to go on to a second, or we'll just do this little bites at a time?
We can do little bites. We're going to be taking a break, and we will have another caller who will be calling in, but we would like for you to stand by to call us back again, because I would like to add to your remarkable suggestions. So thank you very much, caller. We're going to go to a break, and then we're going to take our second caller, and then we're going to invite our Supreme Lorna to call us back.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Subway and Oreo has changed the dessert game. Introducing the Oreo Footlong Cookie, a full 12 inches of chocolatey, creamy goodness. It's big, it's bold, and it's here for a limited time. Perfect for sharing or not. We won't judge. Want it fast? Order ahead with the Subway Cayman Islands app for quick pickup and earn loyalty points. Or get it delivered straight to your door with Bento and Let's Eat. Don't wait. Treat yourself today. The Oreo Footlong Cookie is calling your name. Subway. Eat fresh. Snack sweet.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Easter vacation is just around the corner, and Cayman Airways has added multiple extra flights to some of your favorite destinations, some of mine too. Look here, they got seats available now for booking on extra Easter flights between Grand Cayman and Kingston, La Ceiba, Miami, Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and you can even catch a non-stop flight to Montego Bay for Easter. Check it out. You can visit CaymanAirways.com, contact a local travel agent, or call Cayman Airways Reservations on 949-2311. And don't wait too long though, because these extra Easter seats always sell fast. Be sure to add your Sir Turtle Rewards number to your booking so you can earn more miles for more free trips this year. Well, I know where I'm going. I'll see you on board a uniquely Caymanian airline for Easter.
Cayman, could it be you? Tortuga's 10K giveaway is back, and someone's walking away with $10,000 in cash. Every time you spend $25 at Tortuga, in store or online at tortuga.ky, you get a shot at winning big. As well as $10,000 in cash, we've got thousands in giveaways to hand out every week. Think staycations, the latest iPhones, exclusive experiences, and more. Get in to win. Visit tortuga.ky for the full terms and conditions.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome to Talk Today. It is open mic day. We had so we would like to redirect ourselves to our first caller. I'd like to invite her to call back. The topic of waste management is at top of mind amongst our political hopefuls, and it's also top of mind of our community. And our caller was erudite in providing part of a suggestion regarding solution, and I would like to commend her for laying it out the way she did. The challenge has been that waste management has overtaken our ability to control it because we've allowed it to. We've paid much more attention to trying to generate income and to make economy while we were increasing our inflow of population that included an inflow and a buildup of waste. So we are going to be speaking directly to that shortly. Welcome back, caller. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome.
Is this Mr. Aaron?
This is open mic on Talk Today. Go right ahead.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to find Mr. Aaron.
I think you probably have the wrong number.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
Good luck in... Yeah. So here we are. Our first caller highlighted a significant challenge which will pose a direct danger to our public health and a direct danger to our economic sustainability and a direct danger to our general outlook as three beautiful islands, blemishing everything that we have in our minds regarding economic sustenance. The suggestion by our first caller to decentralize our waste management is food worthy of thinking about. One matter that will come about as a result of that thought is the cost-benefit analysis, what it would require to have a centralized unit, which we do know now, and what it would cost to decentralize. What we do know right now is that our landfill as it is not sustainable. We know that we have to have it addressed, and a regen project of some sort has to take place. We also know that we have enough fuel stock, feedstock for a waste-to-energy plant that would be remarkably an important part of adding to our energy streamlining towards more modern and more sustainable means of generating our electricity. We have enough tires currently to begin a waste-to-energy project and to sustain it for quite a long time. The suggestion regarding decentralization, each district managing its own waste, would banish the challenge that occurs where the undertaking of a centralized mechanism where it would be relocated to another part of Ireland and NIMBY challenge, not in my backyard, would come to play as an important roadblock to achievement of the goal of proper waste management. Decentralizing is an option. What do you think? We'd also like to invite our caller to come back to talk about how would we embark on this plan and what would our community itself, in terms of process, undertake initially, and what other mechanisms that we would have to adapt from outside, apart from bins and apart from the desegregation of garbage, to make sure that it goes into the right sector. All of those matters need to be examined. We do have a number of reports that we can reflect on without having to go back, and we do have a number of our local resources that we can count on of great value. What are your thoughts? We do have a caller. Welcome, caller.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I thought I would seize the moment it's open mic and you're talking about the landfill.
Go right ahead, caller.
There's a couple of things that first we need to come to terms with. One is that we're going to always have waste, and two, we're going to always have a situation that we have now if we don't properly implement things that will mitigate some of the issues that we face surrounding landfill. Now, recently we had the regen project that has been floating around for a couple of years, and then it was finally removed from off the table for good reason, because it was a project that was increasing in cost over the years that they've been talking about it. That's one thing. I know that the public perception is that, we moved the regen project, what do we put in place, or what are we going to do alternatively? The reality is that when we look at a small island like the Cayman Islands, and we look at the garbage intake, which is anywhere between 6,000 to 8,000 tons a day, which is relatively low in comparison to other jurisdictions. And the fact that we wanted to implement a waste-to-energy plant, which was a mass burn, which demands or requires, I should say, anywhere between 10 to 15,000 tons per day, which means we would have to increase our garbage output in order to run a waste-to-energy plant economically, that it makes sense. Then one of the issues that we face in Cayman, and I think a lot of people share the same idea in regards to recycling. if we're gonna take a hard, strong look at how we control waste in the Cayman Islands, we have to first look at how we reduce the amount of waste that's going into the landfill by putting in comprehensive recycling programs in place. The problem is that we've always saw recycling as a profitable endeavor, as opposed to a break-even or a remedy to a problem that we currently face. Because surely we are spending a lot of money trying to manage the waste we have now with no profits in return. So it would make perfect sense if we implemented solutions for recycling that broke even, that we didn't lose any money and we didn't make any money. But what the benefit would be is that we would have a proper management system in place for the waste. Now, because it's been a political football over the past 15, 20 years, nothing real has ever happened. We've seen where the DART consortium, the Regen project, they put some liners in, put some methane wells and different things, and the cost of the landfill itself was continuing to increase. So therefore, there were some issues with that. That's why it was pulled off the table. When we talk about the NIMBY syndrome, not in my backyard, if we were a proactive, innovative, out-of-the-box thinking sort of island, we would then say, okay, let's put comprehensive recycling in place for plastics, aluminums, and glass, and vegetation. That would reduce a tremendous amount of waste going into the landfill location that it is now. And then we were to implement separate entities to deal with scrap metal and tires. Again, that would reduce a significant amount of waste going into the landfill. And then you have your medicinal waste, which will then be put in compost centers in order to create mulch and landscaping and agriculture, fertilizer, and it creates methane, which is a key component to making LNG gas, which is now what we see our utility company is going towards LNG gas. So there are many things that we can do on day one. And I know they try to tell you that you can't pass legislation and all these complications. The reality is that you got too many special interest people who benefit from the system being the way it is, so therefore there's no real motivation to get anything done. Because if we were to implement a comprehensive recycling program in place just to break even, that's a win-win situation. We can have compost centers in districts, and each district can have a compost center as opposed to having a landfill. And a compost center is a properly managed facility that doesn't really put out any stench or any unsightly scenes and different things. I was in Alaska back in 2010, and we were doing oil and gas, and I stayed, and I can tell you, I stayed in a landfill for 2 weeks and didn't even know. When I got to the hotel, checked in, and I stayed there, it was only on the 7th day when I saw all these trucks going into these big buildings, and I said to the guy that I was going on the seminar with, I said, "What are all these buildings?" He said, "Those are all the processing centers. This is actually a landfill that we're in." And that was Anchorage, Alaska, and they had a population of 90,000 and zero landfill because they had proper laws in place that implemented proper solutions that mitigated all of their waste. So they had a warehouse for all the plastics, they had a warehouse for all the rubbers, they had a warehouse for all the aluminums and all the non-ferrous metals, and then they had compost centers that were generating methane and fertilizer. It was an amazing thing to see. And that was in 2010. That was 15 years ago. So if we keep telling ourselves, or we keep saying, "Oh, well, there's no proper solutions," and we're one of the only countries in the world that treats our landfill as a liability as opposed to an asset. Every other country that is properly ran, they are benefiting from their landfill simply because they didn't privatize it. They made sure that they put the proper consultants in place in order to give them the proper information so that they can put in the proper remedies and solutions. That's what we need in Cayman. We need to set aside politics. In fact, if we can take the landfill and a lot of our other issues that are fundamentally affecting us and put it outside the government, put it into committees that don't have private interest groups pushing them, I think we'd get a lot more done. But I think I said a lot, and I just thought I would share that because we need to stop sitting on the fence deciding who's going to get the landfill because there's a waste-to-energy project that someone will benefit from. There's a cleaning the stats from the waste-to-energy smoke that someone will benefit from. And all of the other residuals that go around cleaning up the landfill. There's too many people that are waiting with their hand out for a hand-wrapped gift contract to do certain elements of the landfill, and that is the reason why we haven't put a proper solution in place, because there are too many promises and too many obligations and too many self-serving people who depend and who lobby for governments to give them the favors, and that's why we are where we are today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. Your opinions are seasoned and very much well placed. We are going to come right back after we have a commercial break, and we will be going right back to speaking about this issue of importance.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Easter vacation is just around the corner, and Cayman Airways has added multiple extra flights to some of your favorite destinations, some of mine too. Look here, they got seats available now for booking on extra Easter flights between Grand Cayman and Kingston, La Ceiba, Miami, Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and you can even catch a non-stop flight to Montego Bay for Easter. Check it out. You can visit CaymanAirways.com, contact a local travel agent, or call Cayman Airways Reservations on 949-2311. Oh, don't wait too long though, because these extra Easter seats always sell fast. Be sure to add your Sir Turtle Rewards number to your booking so you can earn more miles for more free trips this year. Well, I know where I'm going. I'll see you on board a uniquely Caymanian airline for Easter.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back to Talk Today, and I'm your guest host, Carl Brown, and we have open mic. So far, we've been discussing the importance of addressing our waste and our landfill situation, which has the possibility of blighting everything to do with our economy, and if not dealt with properly and within a very short period, we will have a spoilt paradise. Our first caller spoke around desegregation and the decentralization of our landfill facilities as we now know it, that each district would manage its own waste, and thereafter we would embark on a process of proper addressing our recycling and enabling us to improve and clear up and clean up our environment, with each district having a stake in addressing the outcome. Our second caller addressed the reality around the solutions of a waste-to-energy plant and the political challenges around who would be the recipient of various aspects of financial gain and return. All of these points are valid. I would venture to say that we are boxed into a corner now to do something about waste management now, or waste management is going to do something about us. That is real. So it is going to be a significant part of the confrontation that occurs from here in Parliament regarding this significant elephant in the room regarding our waste management. It is a fact that we can do a waste-to-energy plant that can generate clean energy to enable us to recoup something, and the caller was quite correct in suggesting that if we modified our thinking and to accept the principle that we could break even as opposed to having to go straight to making it instantly profitable, we could begin there and we could develop our system to first address the problem and then pay for the problem and then become profitable around the problem. And the problem would not be a problem anymore. It would be part of a return on investment. My own personal understanding of current waste management facilities operations is that we can start with a smaller unit and we can add it modularly. In other words, we can build on a basic unit that is efficient, and as we grow our feedstock and fuel stock, we can justify its existence and we can move along those lines. The caller is also very poignant in pointing out that these various parts of the waste management process are very, maybe they're costly to implement, but there's great return on each model. So we would like to invite you to provide your views and what will we be asking of our new political directorate after the 30th? What timeline will we be giving them as electors regarding the addressing of this problem? Because the problem will become a little more than we can handle at the moment. We can do something about it. The idea of decentralizing is remarkable. And then going right ahead and dealing with the current scenario that is sitting right beside Camana Bay, very important real estate, and turning that into a waste-to-energy plant and dealing with reducing its presence while we manage the other models in each district, that is a good idea to start. We'd like to invite those who may have scientific background to add to this picture of what can we do about waste management. We'd also like to invite our first caller to call back regarding other matters she had on her mind regarding this. Our open line can be accessed through 1-800-534-8255 and 949-8037, 949-6990, and a WhatsApp number of 925-3261. We have a new caller. Welcome, caller. Thank you for calling. Hello. Good afternoon, caller. Go right ahead.
I'd like to know if you can speak about just about anything or...
It is open mic. Go right ahead.
All right. I see some good things happening for local people, local artists. I'd like to focus on the artists and people in that sort of area, especially. I think that in my opinion, it's a lot of very talented people here on the island. We've seen Miss Crow. She got into the film industry. You have Miss Geely. You got a lot of people that have made it quite a distance, and I think we need to continue to focus on our people and see to it that they achieve from the arts, not just participate and gain fame. I know the fame helps with the achievements as well, but that's my focus presently. And yes, sir.
Thank you very much, caller. Your contribution is important and poignant, and I would like to speak to that. And thank you so much for highlighting that. Art in our community is what is the lifeblood of culture, and indeed, art and our artists need to be given the accolades. They have been given great opportunity in some instances, and I would like to thank those in our cultural community for doing their part in making sure that our artists get a chance. Film, the emergence of international design. We have Mr. Alleen, who has been featured in Vogue and featured in London. He's now a designer around some of the stars. We have Ebanks, who designed our Ladies on the Corner of Hero Square, that remarkable statue of our matriarchal significance, that bronze statue that has such historical value. Yes, caller, artists in the Cayman Islands are literally the soul of the Cayman Islands, and kind of brings us back to center. Yes, your thoughts are poignant and important, and in fact, in this political period, art and artists are part of the thread of what enables our signature as Caymanians to continue. At this moment, we're going to be taking a break, and we're coming right back. Open mic. Thank you so much for calling.
Information, entertainment, inspiration.
Covering Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, Cayman Brac.
Since 1976 till now.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
I'm April Cummings with your headlines. A new study reveals the Cayman Islands insurance sector contributing $233 million CI dollars each year to the Cayman Islands economy. Cayman Finance commissioned FTS to conduct the research and do the report in order to quantify the industry's impact through job creation, government revenue, and support for local businesses. In international headlines, thousands of Palestinians marched between the wreckage of a heavily destroyed town in northern Gaza today, in the second day of anti-war protests, with many chanting against Hamas in a rare display of public anger against the militant group. The protests, which centered mainly on Gaza's north, appeared to be aimed generally against the war, with protesters calling for an end to 17 months of deadly fighting with Israel. The U.S. Supreme Court today upheld a Biden administration regulation on the nearly impossible-to-trace weapons called ghost guns, clearing the way for continued serial numbers, background checks, and age verification requirements to buy them in kits online. 7 justices joined the opinion, which was authored by Justice Neil Gorsuch, upholding the rule. 2 justices, Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito, dissented. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
Radio More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Following the storm of 1932, Cayman Brac, under the initiative of Commissioner A.W. Cardinal, engaged in several different industries to boost their recovery efforts. Sharks were actively fished for their skins, which were then shipped via Jamaica to New York. For perspective, one good shark skin over 35 inches could feed a family for a week. Egging became more common. The practice of egging meant traveling hundreds of miles to the Sorana, Pedro, and Morant Cays and collecting birds' eggs and then shipping them direct to Jamaica. The eggs would value at £4 per thousand, with the season record being 291,000 eggs collected. Cattle and goat hide tanning was also a trade unique to the Brac by the Lazari family in Northeast Bay. Its leather products supplied the sister islands and was exported to Jamaica and sold in Grand Cayman.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your Sister Islands.
Discover all that our Sister Islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back to Talk Today. My name is Carl Brown. I'm your guest host. We would like to invite you to call in to speak what's on your mind. We've been talking about waste to energy. We've been talking about waste management. And we're talking about the solutions that need to be right now, right here. In Bermuda, which is 1/3 of our landmass of Grand Cayman, and also probably just 1/3 of our population, they have had in place a remarkable waste management system that has no negative effects, with 3 or 4 hotels in close proximity. And as one caller has acknowledged before, you would not know, because of the high application of best practice that enables the processing of waste to go on right around you in a very civilized and scientific manner with no deleterious effect on environment. Moving away from waste, let us talk about economy. Eggs. The cost of eggs in our world is getting a little higher, and the chickens that scurry around seem to be a little more valuable than we had them in mind before. So what do you think about doing your own backyard farming, would you be happy to be your own egg solution? At the moment, the United States has a significant challenge around a supply of eggs because of avian flu, a disease affecting their birds and affecting their fowls, causing them to die. And diminished production of eggs has caused the egg stock market to become a very important and valuable part of agricultural focus today. In fact, the United States is attempting to source eggs from Finland, which turned them down, from Denmark, which turned them down, and two other European countries that are quite proficient in producing eggs, all because of the significant gap in availability of the product, and which is now driving up the cost. The cost of a dozen eggs is considered as valuable in some places as cheese and other pricey items, rivaling the cost of a gallon of fuel in some instances. We have an important set of thought processing to go through rapidly because of the changing dynamics in our hemisphere around political events in North America that will impact our food security. Actions being taken by other leaders have impacting negatively on food production because of the immigration controls, where there are not enough hands to reap crops in the field, which is now translating into the higher price of groceries, of which we import nearly 99% of. The diversity that is required of us in terms of where we source our food has become very topical in our electoral discussions. And a few ideas have been bouncing around, and some of them are ideas that are right in our face practical, because we live in a neighborhood not too far from us in the Caribbean and Central America, where food is being produced, and we will be the third or fourth hand recipients, paying 4 times the cost of its initial cost in its country of origin. And putting that in plain terms, plantains and tomatoes and other food products from, say, Honduras are a minuscule in terms of cost when you compare it to what we pay for it here and what we are compelled to pay for it here, buying it from the distribution centers outside of the United States. So it is only going to get worse, especially with the challenges that are becoming more exacerbated around the word tariff and around decision making between the United States, Canada, and other countries. So what can we do in terms of alleviating and dealing with our food security in conjunction with our political direction? We do have a caller. Thank you very much, caller. Go right ahead. Open mind, open mic. What's on your mind?
Good afternoon to you, Mr. Brown.
Good afternoon. Welcome, caller.
Thank you very much, man. Nice to have you in there as well.
I am privileged and humbled.
No worries, man. I heard your vision at the start of the program about solving the world's problems.
Yes.
And and I listened to where the topics have gone so far, and I know you were talking particularly heavily about our waste management issue. But then you transitioned now to where you just went, and it sparked my thoughts about a call that ended the other day, where you ended the show. Was it yesterday or the day before, where there was a caller who proffered a view a friendlier view than I would have or have in regards to the dealings of our North American president.
Yes.
And I challenge that because it shouldn't just sit there. I think there was an attempt, in my view, to fancy up the realities of what's taking place in North America. And you so rightly talk about the fact of food security. It's interesting you went there because I was thinking about that just last night, about what measures we could do, perhaps similarly to what we do for things like preparing for hurricanes. But I truly believe that it's an area that any government that's coming in has to immediately look at, because we're not in isolation. And as you so rightly said, unfortunately, we do have, for the most part, most of our eggs in one basket in regards to food security.
Yes.
In that it comes from North America. And we would not be very wise if we didn't look at it very closely with the view of preparing. Having said that, I think it's important to share a differing view to the gentleman the other day. He proffered that everything, it was meant to suggest that we shouldn't be so overly concerned because we're not aware of history, because that was the point that was made. Know your history. Talked about a previous president, pushing the Canadian Prime Minister up against the wall and stuff. That history is very much aware, but there was a whole different time and space. Perhaps the gentleman is old enough, and I don't know him, so he is old enough to have come from an era where dictators ruled, where it was commonplace for the world to feel threatened, where it was commonplace for people to not have rights and privileges and due process, where it was commonplace for people to just be at the helms of whatever it is that particular leader may say in whatever country they were in. It's part of the reasons why we had World War, in that we had Mr. Hitler, who wanted to exterminate people by the millions and did. Yeah. So it was a whole different time and space. The motives and the aspirations of the world, I would believe, were held together by those forces in Europe, along with America, that sought peace. The goal was to seek peace. The goal was to seek some sort of common ground whereby we had no choice in us arriving on this earth but coming to some sort of sensible realization as countries that we need to coexist. And so treaties and that sort of thing were all put in place. And so the mission and goal, I suspect, of the American president back then was heading towards that end, as opposed to what we're seeing now in some of our views, because unfortunately there's some who subscribe to that very archaic and cruel system that we came from, depending on your lens for history.
Yes.
There seems to be a mission to interrupt and we see the North America that we know of seemingly transitioning to a country that we fought very hard in those world wars to get away from. And as a superpower, we need to be very concerned about that. There's not much we as in the collective Cayman can do. We can prepare in many instances, but it does greatly concern me that that viewpoint was just left sitting there, and to help that caller to understand that, yes, we do have an understanding of history. Our interpretation of what's taking place now may be very different, and clearly it is, but we can't run away from the fact that there are a lot of changes that are taking place and some not so good. And certainly if we transition it to our perspective, what you just said a while ago, the mere fact that that transition has happened or is happening, it could impact things like our food security.
And further, it could impact our financial viability in our current platform as one of the important participants in international world of finance, because it is perceived, rightly so, that there are clouds, economic clouds are forming because of rapid deterioration in protocols and in the world order of things as we know it. We know that change is inevitable. However, there are some changes that can be avoided because the consequences are very obvious. And the obvious consequences now is that we can have such a reordered financial process of deteriorating financial process that we will find ourselves coming down in a parachute that has no wind.
It could very well be very ugly without speaking too much to it and providing wind, but that's the very real reality. You know, the only sort of hope in that bigger scale of things, in my view, would be that his focus seems to be very much along the lines of increased wealth for the wealthy, and if they turn against them, then it would seem that, well, who knows where it would go from there. But I just wanted to share that view because that's very much where my thinking has been in the last few days, as important as waste management is.
Thank you very much for highlighting that, because it is critical, it is topical, and it is poignant for the moment and by the minute.
Yeah.
And the impact on us, because we are a financial offshore jurisdiction of choice, is very, very significant. And it is also important for us to take advice as to who we choose as electors, as our representatives, because they're going to be facing decisions that will require a degree of concentration on matters, of international matters, that will impact us more so than some of our neighbors by virtue of the instruments that we participate in.
Most definitely. The depth has to be there. And obviously I have my leaning to who I would like to see leading us through that. It's quite clear to me, but I'll leave that right there for now. Thank you very much.
I thank you very much, caller. Important part of contribution today. Thank you very, very much. We are going to go to another caller. Is there? Another caller is awaiting. Thank you very much, caller. Sorry for waiting.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
We're talking about food security.
Yes.
And the funny thing is, the last government was given an option to move towards food security 3.5 years ago. Okay?
Yes.
And they chose to do absolutely nothing about it. All right?
Yes.
By the way of a Caymanian company set up and put a plan together to be able to grow most of the food here that we can eat and to grow food for livestock. Right?
Yes.
The government of the day, right, pushed it to the side and did absolutely nothing about it. And had they passed what was needed to be passed in order to get the project through, okay, the project would have been finished by now. It would have taken a year to build. Okay?
Yes.
So when they had the chance to move towards that, and it's still on the table, right, they could have done it. But the point is they rather fly all over the place looking for different solutions when most of the solutions are here on island. So they sit down and they don't themselves don't give Caymanian opportunities to do stuff. They rather people fly in here and tell them what to do and listen to them versus listen to their own people. And that's part of our downfall, because half the solutions that we need for this island is on this island. Right?
So do we have the opportunity to do a reset, albeit with the perspective and the rear view perspective as you have presented of a failed attempt to a practical solution?
It is actually still on the table, right? Okay? It's actually still on the table to be done. And it's just being pushed by the side. And you see, we're talking about food security now, right? And we're talking about this, and COVID showed us that this is what we needed from the beginning. So COVID showed us a couple of things, right?
Yes.
COVID showed us, one, that we are a little island, we need to take care of ourselves, and we need to have food security, we need to mind our people, is what it showed us, right?
Yes, it did.
Okay? And it also gave us an opportunity at the time, okay? In all the talk over governments and what they will do in these grandiose plans, right? It also gave us an opportunity at that time to reset Cayman and have Cayman put in certain positions, Caymanians put in certain positions, and train our Caymanians that wasn't trained at the time to take the positions necessary, whether it be in tourism industry or any other industry, right? That simply was not done. Nobody sees the opportunity to do it. Nobody didn't care about doing it, and I'm talking about the powers that be, right?
Yes.
Okay?
So we have an opportunity to reset because we are in this golden part of our 4-year tenure where our votes are absolutely platinum until the day of after election. So can we sit with those who we consider who will be listening a little more intently to these very logical, important solutions that are being proposed by ourselves, for ourselves?
I would just like to say that if we allow the people that wasn't there before to get back in there, then you'll have the same result. Do you understand?
Yes,
you cannot keep putting the same people in the same position, expect something different. Okay? You'll end up having the same result and therefore be in the same position at the end. All right?
So
we have to change that aspect of it. And if Caymanians don't believe me, go ahead and go down the same road, vote for the same old people, and you get the same old result. Caymanians still won't have jobs. They still won't be educated properly. They still will not be able to buy land and house and all this other stuff. I mean, these are stuff that we've been talking about for the past 30 years. And we're still talking about the same thing in 2025, right? If you listen to all the debates, and if any Cayman out there listening don't believe it, go back on all the chamber debates and listen to all the questions and listen to all the solutions that at the time the wannabe politicians at the time did, and then see which ones will took the seat and see if they did anything about it, all right? Okay, that's what the people need to do, but Caymanians soon forget about what has happened before, right? Okay? They need to go back and look and change these people out because we're left in the same position. Caymanians come up and give solutions. Now, there was a solution put forward for that landfill years ago, years ago, by Caymanians, I might add. Was it done? No. Right? And if they'd done back then, it wouldn't cost $1 billion or what they want to pay for it now. Right? Again, it's because Caymanians put that forward.
Yes.
It don't happen. Right?
Is it a little bit too ambitious to expand our mind to understand that why there are 58 people vying for 19 seats, with a good segment of those 58 people being youngsters under the age of 40, who are across generations, Gen Z, millennials, and Gen X, who have a different mindset, who have a smaller, a shorter fuse, and who are also intellectually capable by virtue of their exposure through tertiary education, and who carry a very courageous disposition. Are those factors indicative of the possibility that we may be experiencing some political change that will usher us down the avenue of accomplishing what has been denied?
Well, at the end of the day, right, it doesn't matter who put themselves up. It matters on what the voting public thinks.
Yes, it does.
So it doesn't matter who put their hat in the ring. It matters what the voting public thinks and how far back their memory goes, right? And I ask every voter, if you have children or grandchildren, are they in a better position today than they was 4 or 8 years ago, even 16 years ago, right? Are we not speaking about the same things, right? Were those politicians there at the time, and why they didn't make a change if they had an opportunity to do it, right? So those are the things I think the voters actually need to ask themselves. Right?
Important
because
points of
those
clarity.
Those votes, right? Okay, and I keep saying this, right? I'm 50 years old. I got more years behind me than I have ahead of me. So my vote is for my children, right? Okay?
Yes.
So every other adult my age or even younger have children need to think about the people that they're voting for and if they mean Caymanians well. And I will venture to tell you that most of them that are in there, they didn't do anything to benefit us in a way to make the community any better because they've done projects that makes no sense. And furthermore, I'll leave you with this. Could you tell me one government project, just one, right, that has been done within budget, been done fully to 100% properly? Just one.
There is one that comes to mind, Red Bay School, when it was built during Mr. Bodden's tenure as minister. It was under budget. That's all I can recall. But your thoughts are important, and your voice at this time even more so critically important in bringing us to the Bunsen burner of reality.
So I'll leave you now, right? But I'll say this. So we sit here and we listen to governments telling you to build affordable housing, build housing with foam to try to save electricity. And then they're taking our hard-earned money and doing three things with it. One, they're giving it away to other countries instead of taking care of their own people. Two, they're doing all these projects that are way, way, way over budget, that some of them even makes no sense. Okay? And they spend their money very frivolously. And then it comes back on us and they sit down there and tell you what you must do in your house to make sure you make ends meet. Are you kidding me? Governments need to tighten up their belts and save the people's money and spend it wisely in order for them to help your people. And if they can't do that, my friend, right, they don't care about you, right? It's simply just, and look at the project. I mean, we've gone now, right? And we've put pavers in town, in Georgetown, literally, with all old buildings in Georgetown. Could you tell me if they did any sewage system in Georgetown? If they have enough electrical lines in Georgetown in case the town needs to be rebuilt? All those buildings are old, and may need rebuilding. Are we going to have to dig back up those roads that we just spent a whole bunch of money on to run electrical lines, data lines, septic system?
Very poignant, very important.
Yeah. And then they're talking about putting a referendum forward for a port in Georgetown, right? Where the people going to go? Where they're going, right? If they really want to revitalize Georgetown, they ask the landowners to build the buildings over and then pave the road. So we continue to make these people put the cart before the horse and call them leaders. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Important, poignant, and important again. We're going to a break, and when we come back, we will have further discussion and invite your input.
Easter vacation is just around the corner, and Cayman Airways has added multiple extra flights to some of your favorite destinations, some of mine too. Look here, they got seats available now for booking on extra Easter flights between Grand Cayman and Kingston, La Ceiba, Miami, Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and you can even catch a non-stop flight to Montego Bay for Easter. Check it out. You can visit CaymanAirways.com, contact a local travel agent, or call Cayman Airways Reservations on 949-2311. And don't wait too long though, because these extra Easter seats always sell fast. Be sure to add your Sir Turtle Rewards number to your booking so you can earn more miles for more free trips this year. Well, I know where I'm going. I'll see you on board a uniquely Caymanian airline for Easter.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Subway and Oreo has changed the dessert game. Introducing the Oreo footlong cookie, a full 12 inches of chocolatey, creamy goodness. It's big, it's bold, and it's here for a limited time. Perfect for sharing or not. We won't judge. Want it fast? Order ahead with the Subway Cayman Islands app for quick pickup and earn loyalty points, or get it delivered straight to your door with Bento and Let's Eat. Don't wait. Treat yourself today. The Oreo footlong cookie is calling your name. Subway. Eat fresh. Snack sweet.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drporterkman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
The nation listens. The candidates speak. Subway presents the General Election Debates, live in studio on Radio Cayman 89.9 FM and 93.9 in the Sister Islands. Every Monday and select Wednesdays from 7 to 10 p.m. 2 sessions. One powerful discussion. With Election Day fast approaching, hear what the candidates have to say on the cost of living, housing and development, economic growth, sustainability, education, transport, tourism, immigration, and more. Who has the vision? Who has the plan? Hear it all unfold live, unfiltered, and on the voice of the Cayman Islands. Radio Cayman, 89.9 FM and 93.9. Streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. Visit Radio Cayman's social media pages for debate details. Brought to you in part by Cayman Enterprise City.
Also brought to you by Reflections, UCCI, and Yum.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon, it's 1:35 and it's Wednesday, the 26th of March. Welcome to Talk Today. We are so grateful to have you as our listeners from our sister islands and Grand Cayman, and those of you on YouTube who are observing. We'd like to thank those who have called in, and we'd like to continue to ask you to express your views. We'd also like to thank those of us who are stoking the fires regarding their thoughts on WhatsApp. Our WhatsApp message that just came in at about 1:11. My suggestion would be for the Agricultural Department to have a chicken farm. That means a government facility. They would also support jobs and keep the price of eggs down. And that is a worthy suggestion. Thank you very much for contributing. We do have a caller. Thank you very much, caller. Welcome. Go right ahead, caller.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Hello. Go right ahead.
Yes, Dr. Carl, you recognize the voice?
I am in recognition of the voice. Yes.
All right. How you been doing?
I'm alive and grateful.
Good. So you're certainly having some interesting callers today.
Yes, and you are going to make an interesting caller, as I know you to be.
My good friend, you know we're into unprecedented times, right?
Unprecedented times.
Yes.
And coming from somebody with your bandwidth of life experience, which includes taking your own life in hand and fighting on behalf of matters of civility and country. Yes, coming from you, very important.
Thank you so much for your comments. Shall I say that, I'm not a person for preaching gloom and doom, but there comes a time where you have to really face and look at reality. What we're seeing into this island right now, compared to what it was 20, maybe 30 years ago, of course we expect that you're going to have, development and changes, yes. But one of the fundamental things that I will now talk about is having district advisory councils, which I propose, me and my good friend, Mr. Ebanks, tried to put together and convince the elected members and the government that, it was high time that we considered that. Even last election, when, election was going on, came to pass, and just after election, one of the elected members in West Bay said, yeah, well, we're thinking about it, but it's going to even take like 18 months to consider it. Carl, that 18 months has now, next month is going to be 4 years. And from all indications, it has been ignored purposely. And I speak my mind, in my opinion, which I'm entitled to. What you find out is that a lot of the elected people, they are too big to be told. They do not want to have people like myself or other people advising them and telling them something that we see that should be done and something that is not done. We should get on and make a change is what's going on here. Specifically when it comes to election time again, it is, like you said a while ago, is some interesting people that you see that is running for election. Let's see what happens with that, but the handwriting is on the wall. I've been around long enough to see what's happening, and it's not really good what's really taking place in this country. Caymanians have absolutely almost no say. You have other people coming into this country, putting down their roots. There's nothing wrong with that. Of course, we invite you, welcome you, but at the end of the day, consider that this is the Cayman Islands. Where you come from, it seems like it wasn't so well educated, ethically taught what was best for your people, and you're now infringing on top of our rights. One of the things that it is inheritance of Caymanians when it comes to Sunday. We're not talking about just religious days. If you want to keep Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, that's fine. It's not because the Sunday keep us, but the Sunday was a day of rest. You want to go to the beach or you want to visit friends. But what you see happening with what I call it the heavy metal that is being introduced into our country, meaning construction, gardening, and all of that, give us a break. And it's our island leaders to really blame for that, because they should have said from day one, you do what you want, but when it comes to heavy things like construction and gardening, no, we're not permitting that. It should not be. It is to be a day just like you have holidays, the Heroes Day. Sunday is something that we inherited from our generations that has been passed. Now it seems that we have no day to rest or really be silent and see what's happening to our little country.
Yes. Changes that have impacted the cultural fabric that defined us as Cayman.
And you know something, it would really give us so much recognition that you're going to the Cayman Islands. When it comes to Sunday, you're not going to be expecting to have any real commercial heavy activity. When it comes to Sunday, like we said before, low profile, what you want to do, but don't expect that your construction and your gardening and all that's going to be taking place. Well, my good friend, I could say much more, but I got some appointments, and it was more than a pleasure to talk to you.
My pleasure. And it is the opportunity for district advisory committees to take their rightful place as they are constitutionally enacted. So thank you very much for your contribution, caller, and thank you very much for service to our country and in the name of peace and then further in tourism. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful afternoon. We're going back now to discussion. It is open mic, and you have the privilege. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to come right back to discuss what's important, what's poignant, and who are you going to be voting for? Who are you voting for?
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Hey, Bill, glad to see you back in the office. Who? Bill.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think you're mistaking me for someone else.
Tom.
Nope.
Jack.
No.
Alex.
No. Want me to just tell you?
Nope, I got this, George.
No, you don't. Still not me.
Adam.
Not even close, man.
We're like a coworker that didn't forget your name. CG Britke. Good like that.
Okay, good to see you, Mark Mike John Sean.
It's Mordecai.
The new KFC nuggets have arrived. That, unlike the no-gets, ours are handmade using 100% white meat, unlike the no-gets. At KFC, we hand bread every day to achieve the perfect flavor. After you try our delicious and crispy nuggets in the original recipe, you'll never settle for less. KFC, the real nuggets. It's finger-licking good.
Hi, I'm Deputy Governor Franz Manderson, and I'm excited to announce the DG's 5K Challenge is just around the corner. We kick off things in Little Cayman on March 9th, followed by Cayman Brac on March 16th, and the grand finale on Grand Cayman on March 30th. This year, we're supporting the Cayman Islands Girls Brigade, the Cayman Islands Scouts Association, and the One-to-One Foundation, each helping to shape our next generation. Join us in making a positive impact. For registration details, find us on Facebook at DG's 5K Challenge.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back to our listeners in Radio World, Radio Cayman's World, from Little Cayman, Cayman Brac, and Grand Cayman, and also those who are in the global diaspora utilizing our YouTube channel. I'd like to highlight a very important little program that's coming up this annual. It is the Rotary Central Bill Rudy Science Fair that occurs once per year around this time of year. And this year it will be April the 5th, and it will be held at the Arc Center at Camana Bay, where youngsters from over 15 schools will be presenting their ideas about scientific solutions around agronomy, around our environmental science, around math, chemistry, physics, diet, everything scientific and biological. It's an opportunity for the entire family to come out. It is an opportunity for your youngsters, from the little tiny ones in your family, to come and be exposed to the world of innovation that they can take part in. Would like for you to keep that date in mind, the 5th of April. It is a Saturday that we are inviting you, or members of the public, to come to the Rotary Science Fair. With that, we are going to go back to open mic. We'd like to talk about who are we going to be voting for. And before I go into that, just let you know that West Bay South is our fastest growing district in the electoral world of the Cayman Islands, with 1,772 voters. There's a lot of interesting emerging sociology around that, and our entire electoral districting is growing into quite an organism that is reflective of who is here presently, and also very much introspective as who is diminishing in stature. Welcome, caller. Thank you so much for calling in. Welcome for your thoughts and your ideas, your solutions. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Brown.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much for calling in.
You're welcome. So it's open mic?
It is open mic, yes.
Okay. Well, a few weeks ago, there was an earthquake in the ocean off of Cayman.
7.6, 162 miles was offshore, 6 miles deep, I think. Yes. And that was one of three. There was one that was 4.2 after that. Go right ahead.
Okay. We were given a warning concerning a tsunami.
Yes.
And they were warning, especially the people on the south side of the island, to move inland as soon as possible, just in case.
They were.
Yes. And they said that the tsunami could have probably reached our shorelines probably within an hour time.
Yes, they did.
Okay. Well, the government needs to take these things very seriously. And at this time, we have a lot of 10-story buildings, a lot of 7-story buildings, a lot of 5-story buildings being built and have already been built here on this island. The government itself should have had a hurricane shelter in every district now, with a foundation at least 10 feet in height, and that is able to hold at least 1,700 people in every district. When it comes to the concessions that have been given away, we could have had all these things now if those concessions were collected and put towards things that are so important, such as that. Because the Auditor General report one time was all the concessions that have been given away, the Caymanians have nothing to show for it. And these hurricane shelters would also be able to hold emergency vehicles after a hurricane or maybe even a tsunami, in order to protect vehicles that can be used afterwards when it comes to rescue after a tsunami or a hurricane, such as boats, helicopters. And when it comes to these buildings that I'm speaking about, these high-rise buildings, in case we are given a tsunami warning, that everyone in every district are able to go to the closest building and being given access to go to higher ground when it comes to going to floors such as the 5th floor, the 7th floor, even the 10th floor, in case we have a tsunami hitting this island. A tsunami is known to be at times 100 miles wide and can go to the height of 100 feet. So these are things we have to take very seriously. And when people do go to these buildings, they're not denied access to these buildings by the government working together with the private sector to see that this happens without hesitation.
Your suggestion and your observation are so remarkably on point. My own reflections regarding the tsunami warning, it felt that we were caught a little flat-footed in that we have been always a very prepared country for every other thing but a tsunami. And it was a wake-up call for my own processing system and my own family security regarding what would we do when we hear first warning, what's the instinctive thing, 5 things, most important things to do, leaving aside everything that is of great physical value in order to preserve life. You are right on point. I have to reflect on history in spite of being accused of going too far back. But in 1662, there was a major tsunami that affected ourselves in Jamaica. And there are some huge 3-ton boulders that dot our eastern coastline. You can see some of them near the blowholes going west. They're 2-ton, 3-ton boulders that were unearthed from 6 meters below during that tsunami. So there is evidence, geological evidence, of tsunami impact on our environs, and we should be mindful to take and have a personal plan when we hear. And we also should be, as you have been, very much ahead of many in making very valuable, important suggestions that can truly mitigate in the preservation of life. I cannot thank you enough for bringing up that subject because it is very topical and it is not going away.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Brown. And also, it's known that Cayman is 3 feet below sea level, and I've proven that by coming from the 12-mile bank. When you come from the 12-mile bank coming into the turtle farm, Cayman is actually in a bowl. So it's facts that Cayman is below sea level. And because of global warming, there's a possibility we may be 6 to 9 feet below sea level at this time. And when it comes to a tsunami is something that causes anything that is on this island to be swept into the ocean, no matter what it is. And when it comes to saving people's lives, by having these rescue vehicles in place, such as the Coast Guard ships, helicopters, and boats in place, that we're able to go and to save people who may be swept out into the ocean, and maybe save them before they're drowned, or even save them before sharks eat them. What I'm speaking about is very serious, and it's not something I'm saying that is impossible. It's very possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. Your words are sobering and they're poignant. We have always been a preparatory nation because of our vulnerability to the sea, understanding that salt water in the veins has informed our very existence. And so we do have a resilience, unlike many of our neighbors. I do have some assurance that our hazard management unit have been working very hard at updating, upskilling, and bringing best practice. And after that last warning, my belief is that they have gone into the scientific discussion room to discuss and to plan what should be the next new thing to add to our protective regime. They have really had it down pat regarding hurricanes and other natural disaster preparation. I think this one is one that's added to their plate, and I think that it may be a learning curve for us, but I do have some assurance that they will be working on this because it's on their table as important to keep us all safe and well. It is also very important for us to, as individuals, to become mindful. We are plugged into easy access to the world of information, and as I've said before, media is democratized, and there is no excuse for us to be ignorant of the possibilities and ignorant of things as they happen. And so we need to put our plans in place from now. The observation by the caller regarding the safety of rescue vehicles and vehicles that are going to be critical to continuity and to life preservation is of great importance. I have had observations of some of our police vehicles that have been subject to pre-destruction when we've had high water, high seas coming in, and officers who are not from here, who have not understood what saltwater flooding can do to a vehicle, have not negotiated well, and those vehicles have come out on the wrong end. Those vehicles that are important for us after a disaster. It is 2 o'clock. I thank you very much. We are going to the news. After that, we'll resume for 30 minutes of discussion, bringing forward what's on your mind.
Radio station. Radio Cayman is the voice of the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman's debate series continues tonight at 7:30 p.m. It is Georgetown Central, and then at 8:30, West Bay West and West Bay South. Next week, the focus moves to East End and North Side on Monday, then to Red Bay and Prospect on Wednesday. In international headlines, U.S. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard said today it was a mistake for national security officials to discuss sensitive military plans on a group text chain that also included a journalist. Speaking before the House Intelligence Committee, Gabbard said the conversation included candid and sensitive information about military strikes against Houthi rebels in Yemen. But as she told senators during testimony on Tuesday, she said the text did not contain any classified information. She said it was a mistake that a reporter was inadvertently added. A panel of justices on Brazil's Supreme Court today accepted charges against former President Jair Bolsonaro over an alleged attempt to stay in office after his 2022 election defeat, and they ordered the former leader to stand trial. All 5 justices ruled in favor of accepting the charges leveled by the prosecutor general, who accused Bolsonaro and 33 others of attempting a coup that included a plan to poison his successor, current President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, and kill a Supreme Court judge. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman Talk Today continues.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Open Mic. Carl Brown, your host. Privileged to be so. We've got a half an hour to discuss what's on your mind. We have a message that came through on our WhatsApp. This person has stated, if Cayman had a tsunami, we would all be gone. And that's their opinion. The very sobering opinion, and all things considered, we need to take appropriate action to make sure that that doesn't come to fruition. I'd also like to reflect a little more about our electoral districts. As of January the 29th, the revised list of electors, there are 25,687 golden votes that are going to have the privilege of selecting who will like to represent us for the next 4 years. I spoke about our largest growing constituency, which is West Bay South, of 1,772 votes, and our smallest group of electors are in Cayman Brac East with 523 electors. We do have West Bay West, which is 1,390 electors, and I do have to let our listeners know that there will be a revised list that will include new voters that will be placed on the rolls to have them activated for the ability for you to place your vote in April the 30th. It is important for us to reflect on how diverse our electors have become. It is now a crossover of the older generation, the boomers, and now we have Gen X, we have millennials, and we have Gen Zs. And they all have their idiosyncrasies, and they all have their passions, they all have their own disposition, but there is one thing that is they all share a common passion for at this moment, is that most of them have come alive and want to be participants in the electoral process. We have a caller. Welcome, caller. Thank you so much for calling. Go right ahead.
Mr. Brown, how are you?
Good afternoon. Welcome back to you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your continued important involvement in our civic affairs, and good to hear your voice. Go right ahead.
Yes, sir. I was listening just for a few minutes a while ago in regards to the gentleman talking about our Sundays and, you know, the lawn service going on and so forth, so forth. You know, it has changed so bad in this island here that not even a Sunday or a Saturday you're respected in your home of hearing a lawnmower going at 7:30 on a Sunday morning or a Saturday morning like we didn't have years gone by. You know, it's I don't know if that's because population growth or no one has stood up for us to the fact that you know, Cayman was a very quiet island, especially on holidays and Sundays that we are accustomed to, and everything has changed. I'm going to say for the worse, because nobody's respecting anyone today in any category from a lawnmower going on a Sunday morning, 7 o'clock, So a dump truck running on the road, or people out here driving not giving you sufficient warning with the indicators, but yet they got time to show you their finger and press you and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It just breaks your heart to know that we have come to this. And I don't know what our government was thinking about many years gone by to see that the island was getting destroyed in so many ways and or losing a little bit of culture, and nobody was concerned about that, But today now, there got some people who wants to come back and talk about the culture and we need this and that back and blah, blah, blah. When we had it, why couldn't we keep it? Why do we went the other way and make other things destroy the island, the mind of the people? And I got call it too, come here and disrespect us to a degree. Because we are absolutely nothing in some of these eyes that we have on our streets and in the businesses and the stores and so forth. You know what I say, Mr. Brown? You imagine we got tons and tons of churches on this island. And I am sure, I would say, 90% of the people on this island go to church. And the road rage that we have on the road, I just hope and pray they are not the same one who just came out of church Sunday afternoon and tomorrow is Monday and come back on here with all of this nastiness that we are allowing to happen in our street. You can't see no police officers. Even the Newlands bypass now, which we call Crichton Boulevard bypass, that is a highway in the mornings now. And I notice it's even worse now since they put these spikes down there on the what's that road called again? Now going up on the water side there, spot stretch. I even noticed since they put those spikes down there that we getting all these more fast cars coming through Newlands in the morning to come out on the bypass to get back out to the main street to come into town. You follow me?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Yeah. So it is a shame to know that our island has become this, and it's being seen by every government and all those who's trying to run now, and you're not hearing very much about what we can do to change certain things in this island to make it a better island. We're just looking at more buildings and more investors, and that's it. We not even got the police, enough police officers to run the island, firemen, hospitals, you name it. But yet we are accumulating buildings after buildings and population after population to come to live amongst us. And everybody's forgetting that they left their country to come and live in my country, and then they're going to bring their nasty ways with them. Because let me tell you something, Mr. Brown, if you can leave your country, you should not expect to go to another man's country and bring 95% of what was going on in your country into another man's country. That is my opinion. And I think I'm entitled to that.
I think you are right on point. You have come for better, and you should not be part of making it worse.
Exactly. And that's going to lead us to it, and I'm going to let you go. This morning I was driving in town there, coming around the corner by the post office area, and, going towards First Caribbean Bank. And one of our government officials, parents crossed me, and he made all kind of hand movements to me when he crossed me in the next lane, as if he was not pleased with my driving. Our official is in the government right now that is running again for the next want to be for the next 4 years. Their parents that's out here involved in what these other people is doing. You would think that person would set some example for the island that their member is into the house already and hoping to get back in. You see what happened? We got too much of hatred that will not leave us in this island. It is building up on a daily basis. That you can't find sufficient love to go around in this island, because then if I can't keep you down, Mr. Brown, I want nothing to do with you. You understand?
Yes.
It is getting worse and worse as the hours go by. And I just want to say that all of this talk about this election that's going to happen very soon. We need to pray for these people and to stop talking about them so badly, digging up all their past and saying that they're not going to get in and they're this and they're that. We got to live amongst each other. We're going to back up in the grocery stores. We're going to back up in traffic. So why are you building up hatred against Jim Brown and John Brown and Harry and Dick and whatever, knowing you're going to cross those individuals on a daily basis, regardless if they get in or not? Why come on the air, and the station, and the media, and say the negative things about our own Caymanians? And we want to know why people can come here and live so comfortable amongst their own people. And we as the Caymanians is what McKeever talks about, a bunch of crabs in a basket and nobody can get it because everybody's crawling on each other's back. It needs to stop. It needs to stop. We're not getting nowhere with all of this foolishness that people is doing right now, this election. And the rest of the way, this island is being run. Our island's not being run good at all. I heard the guy that came and brought this morning with OC. He had a very good conversation, Mr. Tibbetts, I think his last name is. He had a pretty good conversation going on this morning, and I take my hat off to him. Take my hat off to him. I not taking no sides to none of these guys when it comes to clawing them down, but if you say something that I feel comfortable with, I will stand alongside of you. But I am not going to go for the back and forth, especially on air. It's bad enough when it goes to stores. It's bad enough on your dining room table. But when you're going to get on air and say the things that we say about these people who's running, they're all human and they're all part of us. Caymanians, we need to stop the foolishness and live like human beings and stop going around with all this low mentality as if you all never travel. The low mentality, Mr. Brown, is what killing this island. Not killing the island, the people, because the island is beautiful. It's the people. Thank you.
Thank you very much for for bringing your views, which are always topical and very important to who we are. And we'd like to invite you to call back again at some time. Thank you very much for being a very responsible and important citizen. We'll now take a break. Going right ahead to a break.
Easter vacation is just around the corner, and Cayman Airways has added multiple extra flights to some of your favorite destinations, some of mine too. Look here, they got seats available now for booking on extra Easter flights between Grand Cayman and Kingston, La Ceiba, Miami, Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and you can even catch a non-stop flight to Montego Bay for Easter. Check it out. You can visit CaymanAirways.com, contact a local travel agent, or call Cayman Airways Reservations on 949-2311. And don't wait too long though, because these extra Easter seats always sell fast. Be sure to add your Sir Turtle Rewards number to your booking so you can earn more miles for more free trips this year. Well, I know where I'm going. I'll see you on board a uniquely Caymanian airline for Easter.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the Salad Bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back to Talk Today. We are in the embering moments of our session today. We'd like to invite you to call in using 1-800-534-8255 and 949-8037, 949-6990. And the WhatsApp number is 925-3261. What's on your mind? Our topical issues today are a reflection of our changes and our waste management, and we've gone on to other topics around our economy and food security. And I'd like to speak to a little to what our last caller was trumpeting about, and in very able manner, that we do have change, and some of it is negative to ourselves. I would say that part of our challenge has been this. We are like the Spanish who came in 1492, all in error, when Christopher Columbus came to this side of the ocean, this side of the world, and his intention was to go to India and China, got lost and ended up in this new world, and within a matter of 4 voyages between 1492 and 1503, Spain was totally transformed from being a debtor European nation to having its sovereign debt completely wiped out by the journey of Columbus's second voyage. And the change was so rapid, and Spain was so remarkably overwhelmed, having explored and captured much territory. They did not have enough hands on deck to administer the territory that they had taken over and made their colonial footprint. I think similarly in our circumstances is that we worked on creating diversity in our economy from the 1950s, trying to bring our men back home from sea and to have our sociology be balanced, where we would have a complete family structure, where men would not be traveling the 7 seas, and we would have a whole community with a whole new direction, an economic platform that included tourism and financial services and other things. By the mid-70s, our economic stride far outpaced our ability to prepare and to put in the boundaries that were required to preserve culture, to enable the central fibers of what makes and keeps our community the Cayman it should be, into perpetuity in spite of change. And so we became overwhelmed with significant sudden success, and that created a lot of challenges to us, even though we were making money hand over fist. In the mid-1980s, up until the mid-1980s, unlike any other territory within our hemisphere, every Caymanian generational family had still retained and had property with their signature in their grasp. Now, the understanding that modernity demanded the transition of property being sold to take care of tertiary, educating your children, medical needs that became more expensive, and also to enable entrepreneurialism to move to another level. Slowly, the landed Caymanian signature, where most Caymanians had land within their family, they lost that grasp. It was a huge slippery slope that came about because of too much progress at one time. So we have not put in enough boundaries to make sure that the Cayman identity could be maintained. The very reason why many people found us attractive and came here to seek prosperity that eluded them in their other places of origin. And here we are at the intersection of what do we do now to be able to retain that Caymanian-ness that has made us what we are, and where do we go from here, not to be redefined by others, but to be centralized and to dig down deep to try to retain some of the fabric of who we have been, that we can take it forward and our great-grandchildren can be proud of our actions. So it is challenging. So we are confronted with how many people can live here at one time. Is Cayman for everyone? What is true economic progress if it does not translate into lifting all boats? And how do we keep pace with modernity, being very much involved in the intersection of international finance and being relevant to the capital markets, but enabling our youngsters to become financially literate from an early age, that they're not left out? And how do we be the kind of people that are truly a Cayman kind, not a Cayman kindness that has been severely misunderstood by others who consider it to be a weakness? Questions out there. We have a few more minutes. We have got 5 minutes to allow you to air your views as to who we are, where we're going, and how do we use this golden opportunity as one of the 2,587 voters with the power of choice that will be exercised on April the 30th. We've got a lot to chew on and a lot to think about, and quite a few people to choose from to lead us down the next path of 4 years. 4 years that are going to present significant challenges to the status quo, one, and 4 years that are going to require us to be innovative and to be courageous and to be brutally honest. 4 years of ahead of us that are going to confront us regarding how we do redirect our education system to making it truly valuable and important to us. Welcome, caller. You are our last caller for the day. Thank you so much for calling. Welcome for your thoughts and your solutions. Good afternoon. Go right ahead. Good afternoon, caller. A caller has dropped off. You've got a few more minutes that you can call right back. So we do have a lot to think about in terms of where we are going. What it is most remarkable that is emerging is that there is a courage among some of our electors who have refused to be cowed, They have refused to be subjected, and they have refused to not take their rightful place to be heard in a very profound way. And they're equipped with scholarship, they're equipped with knowledge, and they are equipped with youth. And they do have very firm ideas as to what and where our country needs to go. And they are not afraid to be part of the process. It is one of the most exciting times in our political history where I think we have a huge take-up by those who want to represent and those who want to participate by our vote. There are still a small number of voters who have been jaded by the past performance of those who they placed their trust in. And I would like to encourage them to review and to reapproach, because these are significantly new times. The representatives that have been presented to us are a mixture of experience, a mixture of diverse professional qualifications. They're a mixture of people from diverse backgrounds of sociology within our community context. So they're very representative of who we are. It is also important to understand that this election is pivotal, because the next election 4 years from now is going to involve a degree of change in the complexion of who our electors are and who will be electable. I'd like to thank you for sharing time with us today. I'd like to thank our listeners from YouTube and from Little Cayman, Cayman Bracken, and Grand Cayman. I'd like to thank our callers who were so very generous in taking time from their busy day to call in and share their views. And I'd like to thank those who have had the courage to speak it as they saw it, and allowed their ideas to get oxygen today. We'd like to thank Radio Cayman for being this beacon of education, enlightenment, and we look forward to your continued participation. Tomorrow morning there will be shows associated with you being able to participate, and we'd like to welcome you back to Talk Today tomorrow, where there will be another host. We'd like to thank our technician and our mastermind behind enabling us to have a smooth takeoff and landing today, and that's Silver Fox, Mr. Akal. Thank you very much, Cayman. Have a wonderful afternoon and a wonderful, restful night.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens.